when you feel like one bad thing, it's all of a sudden all of the bad things that ever happened to you, you feel like you have to unpack. And like another reason too why you feel that way is because, so this was explained in the book Waking the Tiger. All of your experiences are filed in libraries inside you. Level 1, where it's like calm, whatever, like it's a minor reaction. Then above that is like a worse reaction than that. It just keeps on going higher up until it's like super severe nervous system response. Trauma has none, not even filed, which is why it makes your trauma so bad. So your nervous system has a response to something, and say it's a mild response. Your mind will then sort through your experiences where you had similar nervous system reactions, and then you'll know how to respond based off of the previous experiences. When it comes to trauma, it's basically like a computer unable to compute, because when you are in a PTSD response, your body is like trying to find similar experiences to relate it to, and it can't. So it's searching through all of these really bad experiences of like when you had a really bad PTSD response to something and you got super angry at somebody, or like it's pulling out all of these memories, and then it's overwhelming you because further it's not finding it, the more it's searching for those experiences, it's making it worse. So since your mind is basically like you're at the library trying to search for a book, and it's like instead of looking for a book, it's looking for similar books or similar experiences. And it's like cannot compute, and it keeps on trying to spin that wheel, trying to search for something, and it's not coming up with it. So it's like, did you mean panic attack? Did you mean that time that you yelled at someone? Looking for all of these situations, and instead it's making you feel worse. And so you get caught in this cycle of like constantly thinking about these things because your body is trying to find similar experiences for you to be able to better deal with what you're currently feeling because you're in a trauma response. And so I just found it really interesting the more you understand why your body is reacting this way, I feel like it's easier to observe it and kind of be like, oh, this is why it's doing that, rather than being like, you aren't aware of why your body is doing this. Your mind is like, cannot compute. Like giving you all these horrible experiences, you're like, oh my God, like that was a bad experience. And you're riding through along with it. You start spiraling into it and thinking even more about those situations, rather than once you have an understanding of like, oh, my body is doing this because it's trying to find of how to react to this trauma response that I'm in. When in reality, we need to kind of learn how to deal with our trauma so that we don't have these experiences. And for everyone, it can be different. And I say that all the time, but like in Waking the Tiger, they talk about doing like a lot of somatic experiencing, which is why I try doing Qigong, because I believe Qigong is something that is a part of somatic experiencing, but there are therapists that actually specialize in doing somatic experiencing. There's EMDR therapy, which I'm also super interested in. It's like brain spotting. Some people do improv for PTSD because it lets you put yourself in a whole different situation that doesn't have to do with your specific trauma and having to relive it, that it allows you to finally release those emotions that you've been having held in. I I implore you to look further into different types of healing and therapy, and then trying and seeing what works best for you. Look further into things that could be helpful for you, that really spark your interest in healing and make you excited to do that stuff.